Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. This slide presentation will talk about my dissertation project for my master study. The topic will be the smart monitoring system based on different light intensity and heart rate monitoring for sleep study. So to get a better idea, let's take a closer look into this slide presentation. Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera all. This is my dissertation project for my master study. The topic is smart monitoring system based on different light intensity and heart rate monitoring for sleep study. I am Hazizah, student under Dr. Mahfuzah Mota from UPM Serdang. This is the overview of my slide presentation. As you can see, it starts from the project background until conclusion. Project background. So this is the project background for this study. So basically, sleep study is overnight study that allows examiner to observe and monitor what happens in body during the sleep time. So there are many factors that can affect the sleep quality. One of the proven studies show that light can affect the sleep quality. So smart monitoring system in this project can help to reduce manual work during sleep study by using smart monitoring system. Data will be collected and automatically update into the IoT platform. By using all the data collected, we can do the analysis to improve and study the sleep quality. This is the research problem for this project. So from the previous study, more manual data update have been collected throughout the study. Besides that, from another previous study, sleep study in Malaysia do not focus on smart monitoring system that apply IoT technology. Some studies they use questionnaire and manual physical examination for the sleep study. Now we go to the project aims and the objective. The project aims to develop a smart heart rate monitoring system based on different light index and monitor for sleep quality. There are several objectives proposed and expected to be completed at the end of this project. First, to study the direct impact of the light intensity on the heart rate. Second, to develop a smart monitoring system for sleep study. And the last one, to collect data using IoT platform. We go for the project scope. The smart monitoring system will be developed to study the impact of light intensity on heart rate. System development only focus on heart rate monitoring system and light intensity. This project only monitor during the sleep time. IoT platform will be used to collect all the data, and this is the guideline for our project scope. Okay, now we go for the literature review part. Okay, first LDR sensor. The sensor used in this project is LDR sensor, light dependent resistor. The sensor will be used to monitor the change of light intensity during night time. So you can see the relationship between resistance and the light in the graph show in this slide. Graph show the typical LDR resistance versus light intensity graph. Okay, next is IoT. The Internet of Things is a network of connected devices that generate and share data with each other. All the data from smartwatch and light intensity system will be collected and displayed online from user. Data will be analyzed to identify the direct impact for the light intensity of the room which with the sleep quality. So using IoT platform, we can gather all data without using any manual work. Data can be displayed online at any time, at any place. The patient and the doctor can review the data at any time. To complete the IoT architecture in this project, we are using API, Application Programmer Interface, VMOS D1 as a microcontroller to load the program for LDR sensor. And last one is ThinkSpeed. ThinkSpeed will be the IoT application to visualize the real data collection info from our LDR sensor. Okay, now we go for the sleep study. As we know, sleep is one of the important part in our life. So sleep study have become more advanced these days to improve sleep quality. Besides that, environment condition also play an important role in our sleep quality. Study had shown the relationship between light direct impacting the sleep quality. There are several stages in sleep. One is light sleep, second the deep sleep stage, the third one is REM sleep, and the last one is wakefulness. This is the example of system architecture for sleep monitoring system using IoT platform. This type of architecture is clear and flexible to be used in monitoring system. This design of architecture based on the general model for monitoring system. We are using this architecture as our reference to build our own monitoring system. Okay. Okay, we go for the smartwatch. Smartwatch become one of the two that help us to monitor heart rate and capture data during sleep time. The smartwatch use BioTracker 2 (PPG) sensor to track the heart rate. PPG is one of non-invasive technology that measure the volumetric fluid of our blood and blood circulation using light source and photodetector at our skin surface. So we will wearing smartwatch during night time to monitor the heart rate during the night sleep. So we can see in this slide, there's the picture of how the sensor work. Okay, we go for the last part in our literature review. So this is the conclusion. What is the difference between the current study and this project? So most of the current studies still using a manual data collection by observation and survey, and most current work for smartwatch are used for sport monitoring heart activity during the sport activity. And for this project, we use smartwatch in terms of medical to watch the heart rate application, the difference in the heart rate reading during the sleep time. And this project also we use the smart monitoring system based on IoT platform. So all the data will be collected automatically update without using any manual data collection. Okay, now we go for the research methodology part. Flowchart show the project development process, and project will be start with the project objective. At the testing part, if this project fail to perform and give the outcome result, it will goes back to the process before. We identify the suitable equipment and start the project design. Okay, overview of project design. You can see that this project focusing on a monitoring system for sleep study. LDR sensor and smartwatch will be used. User will be exposed during sleep to study the impact of light intensity. And monitoring will be focused on heart rate and the light intensity only. Below is the block diagram. As you can see, for the light intensity detection and heart rate monitoring, we will have the LDR sensor, and lastly we'll go to the web server, and the second one is smartwatch will finally display on the email for data collection. Okay, as you can see, for the method we have the software and hardware part. Software used for coding in Vimos D1. We will use Arduino software because Vimos D1 can work in the Arduino environment. And for hardware component, we used to implement the circuit design. Okay, we go to the hardware part. So we can see we have three type of equipment. LDR modular sensor, we work together with Vimos as a light intensity detection. The data from this detection, we will be see in the TeamSpeak as a visualize platform, so we can see live data when we use this light intensity detection. And for the heart rate, we only use smartwatch to monitor heart rate during the sleep time. Okay, this is the project setup for this.
For the project setup, it's very simple. We just need this modular sensor, VMOS D30, and then we plug into the power bank so we can see. Okay, when we plug in, there was the light that indicate that it start to capturing the data, and then we also need this smartwatch to also capturing the heart rate data. So this is the only project setup that we need for this project.
This project. So as you can see, we only need smartwatch, and one other is like intensity detection. Both can be used at any place and any time. As you can see, this project setup is very flexible to be used at any place at any time. Now we go for the one of the most important part in this project, result and discussion. We go for the first part in our result and discussion, smart monitoring system. In this smart monitoring system, data collection is divided into two parts, light intensity reading and the heart rate reading. Both data collected via IoT platform and will be gathered and used to study the direct impact of light intensity and the heart rate. Data collecting tool as we show below in this project are flexible and can be taken anywhere at any time. So as you can see in the picture below, it showed how LDR sensor reading will be displayed in display and how we will get the data from email via Google. Okay, now we go for the data analysis part in our result and discussion. So as you can see, this is the graph data taken for the several days based on the 14 days data. So the graph show for 14 days data, for this data. Based on the graph above, there are several heart rate spike observed during night sleep. The grey area in the graph mark the spike heart rate during lights on. So, as we can conclude and we can see that it shows the contribution of heart rate spike during night sleep due to the high light intensity exposure during sleep time. The increase in light intensity could be attributed to the high heart rate reading. Okay, in this slide we can see the table below. The table is the 14 days data average taken for the LDR sensor and heart rate reading. So according to the result taken for 14 days, the data average for each day show the highest heart rate reading happen when high reading of light intensity during sleep time as shown in table below at day 10. We already highlight the reading as below in the table. So the average reading for heart rate during sleep time at day 10 is 82 bpm with high light intensity exposure during night sleep. This is the graph for 14 days data average taken from the previous table. As you can see, it also shows the highest heart rate happen during day 10 when we have low reading for LDR. Low reading of LDR indicate the highest light intensity exposure. So we can see that none of the heart rate average is above 80 except for the day 10. Okay, at this slide we have the extra information for sleep duration, deep sleep, light sleep, awake and REM state and the heart rate reading based on the reading from our smartwatch. So numerous indicators of sleep quality are provided by smartwatch. For instance, on day 4 the watch detect no deep sleep and a very brief period of sleep during the night shift. The poor quality of brief during may be result from the working at the night shift because some research show that night shift workers are significantly more like to report longer sleep latency, poor sleep quality and daytime dysfunction. So based on this data, it can help us to dig deeper into sleep quality relation with the light exposure during sleep time, and improvement can be done to improve our sleep quality. As we know, better sleep quality will result in a better health. So you can see at day 4 and day 10 during night sleep, we have only a short period of the sleep duration with short period of deep sleep. Last part in our result and discussion is a limitation we observe during the data gathering. The data collection effort should be increased by involving a diverse group of participation. With the additional data collection, we will gain a better perspective of the direct effect of the light intensity and the heart rate. So there are some, other than that, there are some challenges happen during data collection while using smartwatch. Some night, we noticed that some data from the heart rate is not recorded. To obtain the complete data for 14 days, 20 days of data collection are required. Compared to LDR sensor, we get a best result without need any no recorded data. So LDR sensor work 100% fine, but for the smartwatch, it demonstrates 70% of the data can be used. Now we go for the last part in our project presentations, the conclusion. So based on the data we get, we can see that the relation between light intensity and heart rate is demonstrated in this project. The data collection in this project was using an IoT platform. So based on the experimental setup, this offers flexibility in terms of data collection and the project setup. Compared to the manual work, the flexibility will be less and we need to get the data manually from the user. But with this setup, we can have more flexibility in terms of data collection. So for the future work, the purpose future work should take the environmental factor into account. For example, noise. Capturing noise can also help researcher to learn more about the factor that may impact the sleep quality. Aside from that, user also can use a different type smartwatch to obtain more data, and comparison can be done between each reading. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.